Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Weekly Travel Updates, your trusted travel news every Monday night. I'm Melinda Fargus with Action Travel, and for more than 36 years, we believed in one simple purpose: we deliver the world to you. Tonight, the world has certainly given us plenty to talk about. I didn't have time to adjust my layout next to this, but I found out only in the middle of the afternoon about a not too publicized earthquake in California yesterday near Fraser Park. And you say, well, why is that important, Melinda? It's important because it's near one of California's most watched fault lines in the whole region, the San Andreas Fault. California sits along one of the most active earthquake zones on Earth. The Fraser Park region is important because several fault systems come together in Southern California. The magnitude 4.2 earthquake is not considered a major quake, but scientists are watching these areas carefully because they reveal the stress and how it's moving underground. Tonight, we begin with the reminder that our planet's always moving. And does this mean that we're more prone to more earthquakes in Southern California? Yes, it does. According to everything that I could read today, the 4.2 quake was really happened just after some 3.2 to 3.5 quakes in the same area. Well, let's jump into tonight. Could one of Earth's most important ocean currents be changing? We're going to explore the research of the Gulf Stream and why travelers should pay attention to it. Well, this week's earthquake activity is beyond California. We're talking about what we talk about almost every week, and that is the Ring of Fire, Pacific Ring of Fire, including the latest California quake and what it means for travelers. From Hawaii's historic flooding to travel patterns stuck across the UK this winter, the Gulf Stream is part of that. We'll go into more of it. Let's talk about Turks and Caicos. The U.S. has issued a level 2 travel alert for Turks and Caicos. Now, I love Turks and Caicos. Small, beautiful white sand beaches, but it is not very commercialized, meaning there's not a lot of infrastructure there. We'll explain what it means and how traveling smarter will help you with that. Then we're going to talk about our cruise corner, an inspiring story from the sea, plus the latest travel news in cruise news. And then we're going to talk about national park safety. And I will tell you more about that. If you haven't seen, I will load the clip after we finish tonight of the grandfather, 80 years old, who was chased down by a bison in Yellowstone. I wasn't going to show it. Then I saw it on every news stream I could find today. So I guess I will send you the link or put the link down in our comments. Okay. And then, we've been doing a travel smart takeaway. And tonight I have one of those for you as well. It's becoming a favorite of our viewers. But tonight there's so much news about the Gulf Stream. I'm going to extend it into a part 2. And the part 2 is only available on YouTube. It's going to be at 8:30 p.m. tonight. So a few minutes after, 15 minutes after this show, you must come to the YouTube channel. It's right here to see the rest of it. Okay, guys, let's talk about how our world has been changing. The Gulf Stream so affects the weather. The Gulf Stream has traditionally pulled from north, like New England, down the eastern seaboard and down through areas, Cuba, Bahamas, and so forth. When you travel, when you sail on a cruise and you want to leave out of Richmond, for instance, or New York, one of the things that I share with you is that the Gulf Stream can be challenging. There can be larger waves. You're going with the current going down, so that's not as bad as when you're coming north, going against the Gulf Stream really makes for a bumpy cruise portion. So, but because the Gulf Stream is changing, this winter in January, Hawaii had record flooding, over 2 feet of rain in January. This same system along the latitude held a system, a weather system, high pressure zone, held a system where the UK got drenched. And it wasn't for a day or two. The system lasted for 6 days. Very unusual over the UK. You know, they get rain all the time, but not this kind of quantity of rain. Okay, Turks and Caicos. I love it as a port. There is a Beaches family resort. Beaches is the sister company to Sandals. And the Beaches resort there is quite beautiful. I've had lots of clients to experience it. But there has been increased violence. It's not in any of the resort areas. It's not at beaches. It's not right at the cruise port. It is 5 blocks away from the cruise port. People are arriving. And as you venture out, and people will, I do myself, it is not suggested to go beyond what you can see at the port area, unless you're on a guided tour, a paid guided tour. To just walk around and browse, man, that is getting sketchy. We'll keep a follow-up on it. Okay, and then we're going to talk about extreme weather. Guys, there has been some extreme weather. We have a wildfire burning in eastern North Carolina. We had a tornado yesterday touch down in the foothills of the Appalachians yesterday. We have had 5 to 6 inches of rain today. That's why I have my hat on, because I had to go to a meeting this morning and my hair didn't look great. So I wore a hat. Anyway, we have 5 to 6 inches. There is flooding on some rural roads in the foothills, close to Mount Airy, northwest of the Piedmont area where we live. But they are scraping the bottom of bridges, you know, the debris coming with these flood zones. It's scary because it does remind you of Helene and all of the destruction last year. So our state has been in such a severe drought that to get enormous amounts of rain all at one time, the ground can't soak it up fast enough. And we're seeing lots of storm damage. Closer, and a great story was, well, the outcome made it a great story. Closer in Wilmington, North Carolina, there was a rescue today of an 8-year-old little girl. Her aunt had taken a niece and a nephew to the beach, and the aunt is on staff at UNCW as a basketball coach. Anyway, she saw the kids go in the water, and the girl turned around. The boy reached down for a shell or something, and a wave took him under. She's watching this from the beach, and she runs in after him. And as she is trying to get him, she too is taken with the undertow. It was a local beachgoer who lives there who went in, and he called for help, and rescuers arrived within minutes, but this guy literally pulled them out of the ocean. It's part of this extreme weather we're experiencing. There have been more rescues in the past few months, well, since we don't get in the water much before Memorial Day. So from Memorial Day to now, I can't tell you the number of rescues that have taken place. And it seems like the flags, the ocean flags, have been yellow and red for a large majority of the season so far. Okay, I am going to share with you what our smart takeaway is tonight. Because the world is changing, I wanted to give you some reminders. Check your destination weather forecasts. There is an app for that. Just put it on your phone. Make sure you keep an eye on it. It may make the difference between you taking an umbrella or actually pulling out a rain jacket. Review travel advisories. If I have somebody in Bermuda right now, Jeff Terrell, he put a Instagram post today of the beauty of the island that he's on. Anyway, review travel advisories. We had to check to see if there'd been any updates. And for him, no, it was all good. Know the local emergency procedures. When you're in Europe, particularly, or even, let's say you're on a cruise, because lots of travelers are this week. Know the local emergency procedures. What do you do in case of emergency? What is our plan B? We've talked about on this show several times about having that plan B. It's just reassurance in your mind that if something doesn't go exactly as we planned, it'll be okay. We have a plan B. Our travel agent took care of us. Keep digital copies of everything, all of your important documents on both phones. If it's mom and I traveling, I have copies of everything on my phone. She has copies of everything on her phone. Passports, any other photo ID, any documentation for check-in, boarding passes, etc. And travel with curiosity, confidence, and respect. There's a lot going on around the world, and just like the protesters that are in several ports for many reasons, the not announced strike of all the shuttle drivers in Santorini. So if you were on a cruise ship this weekend, no, not this weekend, yesterday or today, you may have been ported in Santorini and never been able to get to the top of the hill. That would be a Oh, that would break my heart if I had it within view, 1,000 yards away and couldn't get to it. But that's what happened today. Unscheduled strike of these bus and shuttle drivers. They wouldn't take anybody up the hill. They wouldn't take them to other transportation. And it's too far to walk in this kind of heat that Europe has been experiencing. Well, remember that our planet's constantly changing. We're talking about heat waves in Europe, record-breaking heat. We talked about it last week, over triple digits in several areas. They're just not used to that. On average, Europe is 12 to 15 degrees warmer for the same time this year as travelers experienced last year. Ocean currents influence these weather patterns, and I'm going to take you into that as part of my travel part 2. It's only available on YouTube. I will drop a link on my Facebook page. I'll drop a link at the bottom of this show, but I want to see who's really interested in what's going on with the Gulf Stream. It's actually splitting in two. And it just didn't seem fair for people who really weren't interested in that kind of information for me to go on and on and on about it. So, travel with weekly travel updates, because knowledgeable travelers make better journeyers. Okay, ciao, guys. I see you in a few.